All right, all right, all right. Big day today. Episode one of Above the Score. It's the first official kickoff, episode one. Really excited to have this. I've been meaning to do this for some time. No better time than now. Great way to stay connected with my friends on some topics we love. And, we'll publish it and we'll probably have one viewer, if that, right? But it's all good. It's all good. It's for us. So, this week, we're going to talk about NFL, what's been going on this weekend in terms of the games, where we are in terms of the season, what the playoff picture looks like, any big surprises this week, and things we look forward to throughout the next 7, 8 weeks of regular season. We're going to talk a little bit about the NCAA football. Also, about the same place, maybe a little further up. There's one game left in that season, so we're going to see some scores from this week, the college playoff rankings, and talk a little bit about surprises there and what we expect there. So, those are the topics, but the most important part here is the guests. So, today we've got John Edelman, my homeboy from Oak Park, River Forest, known
What's up?
since we were little shorties. John, welcome, man. Thanks for being the first guest, the guest of honor, man. Doesn't get any better than this.
Hey, I am honored to be the first person on this new podcast. Um, it's exciting to be here for sure, and just to chat with a friend that we've been homies for, I would say probably like 1998.
That's a long time, dude.
That's a long time
Whew.
for
Almost
sure. Yeah,
27 years, man. That's just crazy.
it's
Well,
wild, man, but
this,
wouldn't want it any other way. It's exciting, um, and we get to talk about things like this and be a part of great conversations and keep in touch. And it's just there's some really great opportunities, and I'm honored to be here on this first roll of the podcast, man. So thank you for having me, brother.
honored to have you, man. Well, guys, a little bit more on the podcast. So today's November 23rd. It's a Sunday. It's about 7 p.m. Eastern time. And what we're going to get into, and kind of part of the title, right? Above the score. If you think about that, right? We're going to get into things a little bit deeper than just a score of games, just a score of what you see, on a scoreboard, right? And so that's where that title came from. I actually wanted to go with Beyond the Score at first, but there was like 15 other podcasts that have Beyond the Score as a title, so that didn't work. Um, Dak Prescott just scored a touchdown. But anyway, what we're gonna dig into here is starting with the NFL. I want to talk with you, John, first. NFL wise, what is the biggest surprise you've seen this weekend? Something you weren't expecting? Your favorite moment maybe.
I mean, I guess I'll kick it off with I wasn't expecting the Bears to have as difficult of a time
Hmm.
with the Steelers, in many different aspects of it, but that was, I would say, and we can go more into details with that,
Yeah.
in a little bit, but that would be like I didn't expect that.
Hmm.
Um, I thought for sure it wouldn't, I didn't expect it to be that close of a game again, as we've seen for like the last 3 weeks in a row. It's been very close games. I'd say I was pretty excited to see Sugar Sanders,
Hmm.
who's playing right now. Like I was, with all the stuff with that situation,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, right now he's going off of one touchdown, one interception. Um, is almost the game's almost over. 2 minutes left in the fourth, but the Browns are going to come out. It looks like they're
Yeah.
going to come out with it.
Yeah.
So I
That's
was
good.
kind of excited to see him do well, because I think he went so high in the draft, or I'm sorry, so low in the draft that like, what, fifth round?
Yeah, something like that. It was a really interesting. That's such an interesting plot line with the whole Dion and his kids and the whole Colorado State and like the what is it, HBCUs first right before Colorado State.
Yeah,
Um, But yeah, no, those are some good ones, John. I think the Bears, I'm gonna come back to that one because I want to spend more time on that. But the Browns with the Raiders, obviously this game's still going on, but to your point, Shadir Sanders looks to be doing well. They're up 24-10 right now with a couple minutes left in the game. So it looks like they're going to win that one pretty handily. I haven't dug into his stats. Let me see here his stats so far today. 209 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Okay. This is
Yeah,
officially his first game. Does he have any rush yards? Let's see here. Yep. One carry, -1 yard. Okay. Well, that's an area I thought he'd have a little bit uh more success is his run game. But yeah, those are good ones, John. On my end, what I would say is look, in terms of my biggest surprise in the NFL this week, it's actually the Lions game today. Lions played Giants and they almost lost that game. I thought the Giants were going to get blown out. This was at Detroit too. And the final score is not that close. It's a 7 point game, 27-34. Lions won that. But it was tied in the fourth. Actually, they had to go in overtime. They had to go in overtime and squeak that one
yeah.
out. That to me, that was the biggest surprise in the NFL. I did think that we would see probably a pretty big dismantling of the Vikings by the Packers. It wasn't as bad as I expected there. Um, So yeah, those would be. Oh, and looks like the Jaguars game's going to go in overtime. They just tied it up with the Cardinals, so that's an interesting one too.
That I'm actually surprised by that too.
Yeah.
There's definitely been a lot of surprises as far as like teams that I think we anticipate based off of healthy players. Guys that are just gelling. They're able to kind of you could see it, right? You could see it like that these teams are playing well. Like an example, unfortunately, with like Cam Scadaboo, before he got injured, they were flowing.
Yeah.
Cam was one of those guys where like they connected with the team.
Right.
He was, he was putting on a show, but obviously he got injured and it's probably for the better right now, that he's so young. And I think he needed to give his body a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
That dude, that dude was running into everything, dude.
Pounder, man. That guy was a pounder. He was, yeah.
Yeah, but like going back to what you're saying, like I think that the surprising thing that we're seeing with a lot of games right now, so late in the season, is that these are fairly close games.
Yeah.
And what does that mean, right? Is that based off of injury? Is that based off of just like it could be a lot of things we don't know. We're not on the field, but um, it's like the Jaguars and Cardinals. What are the Cardinals right now?
3-7.
Um, what's their record? They are,
They're pretty bad. 3-7.
yeah, and Jags are 6-4.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, that's
Well, you touched on something there, John. It's injuries. It's been interesting. I think the last couple years I've noticed and not necessarily an uptick in injuries, but more of an uptick in players sitting out. And I think, now don't quote me on this, I don't have any proof. This is all hearsay, but I think this was probably like one of those like wink, wink, nod, nods when they extend the season 17 games. I think that was the pound of flesh they had to give over to the NFL Players Union. And they had to say something. This is again, it's all speculation. I'm making this up, but it feels right. But I feel like the players union said, look, if we're going to go to 17 games, we're going to have like minimum days or games that players are going to sit out if they have X, Y, Z type injuries.
I mean, that is a very, very valid point. I think that I mean, look at the sport that they're playing. Look at what they put their bodies through
Mhm.
every week, and
Yeah.
then you extend it to where now there's more opportunities for players to get hurt. There's a strategy that you have to adjust
Mhm.
with, with keeping your guys from ending their career ultimately, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, Matt.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it feels right. But because I mean, just look at the quarterback position alone, right? I mean, how many quarterbacks have been out for any amount of games this year?
At least one on every person's fantasy team for sure.
I mean,
Like,
it seems like it really does. Like Browns, okay, they've had two or three quarterbacks. Raiders, I think they've been with Geno all year. I don't know if he's been hurt. Jaguars, I feel like didn't he miss a game?
um, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah,
Didn't he miss a game this year? I feel like he
yeah,
missed.
he might have missed two.
Might have missed one or two. Okay. The Cardinals, obviously, Brissett is not the guy who started the season. Eagles, I think they've had Hurts all year. I don't think he's been out. Cowboys, for once, I think Dak's been healthy so far all year. No, yeah. When
I,
we played him, was Dak playing?
I believe. I think he's been good.
He's been good. Okay, that's what I thought.
He
But
might not have played because he was not performing,
yeah, okay. He might have, yeah.
but yeah,
The Falcons, right? They got Kirk Cousins now. The Saints, whoever's, I don't even know who the quarterback's over there. Uh, the Bucks, I think they had injuries there for one or two games at least. Stafford, has he played all year? I mean, he was barely like they were saying he might sit out the season.
Stafford. I don't recall. I think he might be playing tonight, but right? Doesn't he play tonight against
Yeah, he played
Tampa
tonight.
Bay?
I'm wondering, let me see if he's played at all season healthy here, because that seems like unlikely. Um, well, I guess maybe he has. Yeah, maybe he has. Okay.
I
So
mean, you got what's his Jalen or not Jalen, the dude on the Commanders,
yeah, Jane Daniels has been
Jaden
out.
Daniels, Jaden, yeah,
Got
he's out.
what's
I
his
think
name?
he's still out.
Yeah, he's still out. Aaron Rodgers is out. Um, you know, the Giants obviously have had a lot of injuries at the quarterback position. The Vikings have had JJ McCarthy out. The Packers, I think Love missed a game. The Titans, I think actually the Titans have been pretty healthy at quarterback.
Yeah,
Uh,
but their team is not. Their
Start.
their
Yeah.
team is not healthy in
No.
any way.
But just the quarterback, right? And the Colts, what's his name? Daniels, he missed a game.
Yeah,
The Jets, they had yeah, they benched Fields, maybe not due to injuries, but they still benched him. Ravens, Lamar's missed a few games. So yeah, you go down the list, CJ Stroud with the Texans is out right now. Young missed a game with the Panthers. 49ers have had a bunch of injuries at the quarterback position. Um, Mac Jones played a bunch of games there as QB over what's his name? What's his name? Why am I blanking on the QB for 49ers?
for Brock Purdy.
Purdy, yeah, Purdy. So that's like, I mean, I just rattled off like 15 right there. That's like half the league, half the teams gotten major injuries at their QB position. So maybe there is something there. Maybe there is a little bit of a something there.
Yeah, I mean, does it? You look at that and you're like, what is that? Does that automatically mean that your O line is struggling? Does that like what is the you know a lot of these injuries are happening from pass rushing
Yeah,
and from you know getting hit, getting sacked, whatever it might be, but that's the name of the game. But ironically, like you said, there's been a lot of quarterbacks out, man, and it seems to me like obviously being the captain on the field, you're in every play, you're gonna you're gonna be susceptible to potentially taking one out. So the moral of the story for a lot of teams right now is like you better go find yourself a good backup quarterback.
yeah, yeah. And the Bears are in a great spot there, right? Bajent,
Oh
he's
yeah, I love him, man. Like
great.
I like his attitude. I like his gratefulness to be a part of the Chicago team. He's talked about that quite a few times in some interviews. He's happy even if he's not playing right now,
Yeah.
and that's important.
Terrific attitude. Yeah. Great locker room guy. Well,
What about this speaking of quarterbacks, quite a matchup between Daniel Jones and Patrick Mahomes today with that 3-point sneak off in OT.
yeah, man. That was another one where that was a big comeback, right? From the Chiefs. They were down in the fourth, came back, tied it, and then won in overtime.
Yeah,
Pretty good stat line. Well, pretty good yardage for Mahomes. 352 passing yards, one interception, no touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, good game. 104 rush yards, one touchdown on 30 carries. That's a ton for any back, but especially for an older back like him.
that's a day. That's a
Yeah.
day. I mean, I'm actually very surprised someone like Jonathan Taylor on the Colts.
Yeah.
He's had a great season.
A
That
great season,
dude,
a rough day.
and but a rough day
Yeah.
against, what do you have? 58 yards, 16 carries.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
His
And-
longest was 27 yards.
oh, really? Wow. So he got half his yardage in one play and then 15 carries to get another, 30 yards or something like that.
Yeah, not and they still came out only losing by 3 in OT. So
That's
that's very telling in a sense, right? Like,
a good Colts team, man. That's at the Chiefs too.
yeah,
And
I
that's a
mean,
that's a pretty weak division, right? They got who's in that division? That's Jaguars. Is that the Bills too? Let me see.
that would be, yeah, the Bills.
Miami, New York. No, that's not the right one. Sorry. Okay.
We got,
Jaguars, Houston, Tennessee. Yeah, that's a weak division.
yeah, that's a very weak. I mean, Indianapolis is leading the division by a milestone. Like they got 726 or 27. Uh, you know, in the is as at the top of the division to Tennessee, which, as we said,
Oh, there's just
man, they better do something.
that's the thing.
1-10, dude.
I have not watched any Tennessee anything because I just can't watch bad football like that.
I mean, it's a given
Yeah.
that. But I think that division wise, what's going to be really interesting to see is like I'm really excited about this Bears Eagles game on Friday.
Well, let's talk about the Bears more, right? Because we've got what is the record? 8-3 right now, or 7-4? Bears are
Yeah, we are 8-3.
8-3. Okay. So look, let's give them their flowers, right? I think that's a really good record. In fact, that's good enough for third place in the entire uh national or NL, right? No, that's baseball. NFC, the entire NFC, man. In the entire NFC, they're in third place, only half a game out of first place. That's really good. That's really good. But though, John, here's what I can't get over. Win against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are sub 500. Win against the Raiders. The Raiders have two wins. Win against the Commanders are garbage. Oh, and by the way, Raiders and Commanders, we only beat by 1 point. Win against the Saints. Saints is probably the worst team. If it's not the Titans, it's the Saints. Lost to the Ravens. Win against the Bengals, another garbage team. Win against the Giants, another garbage team. Win against the Vikings, another garbage team. And win against the Steelers. It's the best one we've had. And they're not even that good. So
No,
that's my beef with the Bears. The Steelers are 6-5. That's their best win. I think the Bears are posers. I don't believe this team. I think they're going to have 9 wins to finish the year.
you know what? And that's the thing. That's the thing we got to all keep in mind, right? Like we're about to play some real teams coming up here. Not to say we didn't play real teams, right? But like you said, based on current records of these teams that were winning by a small margin, right? We're not blowing out any of these teams.
And these are bad
I
teams.
don't. I think the most blowout game that we've had was against.
The Saints,
Yeah, it was the
Cowboys,
Saints.
the Cowboys. This is actually the Cowboys.
Yeah,
14.
but I mean, okay, cool. Look, at the end of the day, a win's a win, right? But the reality of a team, if you want to make a push, um, and not get blown out the first round of the playoffs, if you get there, they're not showing that they can do that. They're not.
They're not now. Look, they are winning the games they have historically lost, right? All these close wins, these fourth quarter comebacks. That's not the Bears we're used to, right? They usually lose those games, unless it's 2001 and we've got like, the most incredible like comeback victory from, our defense. It was like going to Arizona down, two touchdowns in the fourth quarter and miraculously scoring on a Devin Hester return touchdown or something. But this team, we're not used to seeing these close ones shake our way. So that's been fun. That's been really fun. But
Yeah,
I just have a hard time, like I'm having a really hard time believing just based off of how close some of these games are. Look, we could have even been easily 9-2. We should not have lost that week one Vikings game.
no.
I mean, that was just a terrible loss.
And then the week after that, we lost against Detroit, both division games.
Got stomped by Detroit by like 30 points.
Yeah. And I mean, then that's how we kicked off the season. So, like you said, at the end of the day, a win's a win. But if we're looking at it from the perspective of this is the NFL, it's the Bears, right? We're everybody's happy that they're doing well, but the reality of it is we're going to we're going to Philadelphia on Friday. The weekend after that, we're going to Green Bay, right? So, and then the week after that, we come back home on the 14th and we play the Browns. And then the week after that, we come back home and we play Green Bay again.
That's crazy, dude. I didn't even realize until you said that we play in 5 days against the Eagles, Black Friday. That's first of all, a Friday NFL game is bizarre. Do we still have Thursday games? We have Thanksgiving games, right?
There is still Thanksgiving games.
It's
I
Thursday.
think they wanted to put, I don't know if it was predetermined for this Black Friday game, 2 o'clock on Friday.
Okay.
I mean, that's a sweet spot of a time for a day where everybody pretty much has off.
Yeah,
That's,
I like it.
but I mean, that's this tail end of the season here that's going to make or break our divisional championship or making it to the wild card, all those things
Uh,
is now.
It is. Yeah. Well, so what's your projection? What's your projection for the Bears ending the regular season?
Um, I think if everybody always like prefaces it with this, if everybody can stay healthy, right? Like if everybody stays healthy, which again, injuries being a factor for any team, but I mean, I want to be pleasantly surprised if we can beat Philadelphia, right? Like
Super Bowl
it would be
champs?
great.
Yeah.
But am I gonna sit there and be like, Bears are winning on Friday? No, but it'd be nice to see a close game. So I don't think we're going to beat Philadelphia at Green Bay in December. Thank God the Bears are pretty used to playing in the cold as well. But Green Bay, I mean, if you got Josh Jacobs coming back, you got Emmanuel Wilson today that did a great job
Yeah, he snapped.
taking on that role. Did you see him?
Yeah.
I
I think it was
mean,
all touchdowns. Yeah,
he had a day,
he did. He cooked.
and so I think the Green Bay game will be close. Would you agree with me on both of these so far?
Well, I agree with you on the Eagles. I don't know that Green Bay will be close, honestly, man. I think here's kind of my let me tell you what I'm not comfortable with the Bears. Well, first of all, they've got their defense is just it's not good. It's not good.
No.
Now, it could be because of injuries or other, but they're not a good defense. They can't stop the run. They have had a lot of issues stopping the pass. Now, our defensive line has gotten better, so we are putting more pressure on quarterbacks, which is creating more turnovers. By the way, I didn't know we were leading the league in turnovers. Did you know that? In takeaways, sorry, not in turnovers, in takeaways.
Really?
Yeah, we've had 24 takeaways this year. So
Holy cow.
yeah, that's been a big part of our success. But despite, our defense being shaky, we still lead the league in takeaways. The problem is we're giving up big chunk plays. Um, We've got, our top two, maybe three with Stevenson. Our top three cornerbacks are out. They have been out for a few weeks. Now we've got really good safeties in Bird and Brisker. They've been playing outstanding. Right at corner, he's been stepping up. He had another pick today, right? So we've got some guys, picking up the slack there in the secondary. But then our linebackers, man, every single one of our linebackers is out. We,
TJ Edwards, Noah Sewell,
yep.
um,
Oh, Tremaine Udman's went
Ruben Hippolyte.
He got knocked out of the game today. His first, so rookie Hypolite or however you say his name. He started today and he got knocked out of the game.
Yep.
Now I'm just amazed that these teams are not just throwing it to their tight end all day against the Bears.
I mean, that's one strategy to go about, right? And I think the Bears have to adjust to that. But yeah, looking at this injury report is holy cow. Like that could explain why we're just barely holding on to a lot of these wins, dude.
Sure, but you'd think like, look, yes, and I agree with you, but we're not don't putting them a lot of points on the board either. I mean, our highest scoring game was against the Bengals, right? Because the Bengals defense is, believe it or not, worse than ours. But take that team out, and today was our highest scoring game, tied with the Cowboys game we won.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I agree with what you're saying as far as like these are legitimately like in-depth concerns that that Bears fans have that, yeah, if you're just looking at the Bears like you're a Bears fan, right? Like, all right, we got the win. Cool. Like everybody loves the win. But when it comes down to like, are we doing better than we have before? Sure, we are in some departments, right? For sure. It's nice to see a consistent, a winning record. I had the Bears at 500 at the beginning of the season, in my opinion. I
what
was
is
like,
it, seven
what's up?
or nine? What is it? 8-8 or 9-8?
For 500? Yeah, I
Yes.
believe that would be that now. Yeah, I mean, right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay. So okay? You got through the Eagles, the Packers. So where do you think we end up? What do we do with these last five games here?
I mean, who do we have after that? We have,
We got Browns after the Packers, and then we got the Packers again, and then we got the 49ers to finish the year. Oh no, we got the Lions too to finish the year after the
on
49ers.
that flex game.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. We got three divisional games left,
Mhm.
right? Green Bay games and in Detroit. We got Philadelphia, who
Sure. That's some
obviously
shout
has talent, who's a dangerous team for many of years in the past and even this year, right?
Mhm.
And then the only kind of game where I'm like, oh, yeah, there's no reason why we shouldn't win is the Browns.
That's okay. So are you saying 9-8 as well?
I hate to say it, but I'm going to go with 9-8 just to play it safe, and I hope that we're wrong.
And that's exactly what I'm saying, man. 9-8. I only see the Browns as the win, and I see the division games as L's, and I see the 49ers as an L. Only because it's at San Francisco or San Mateo, wherever they play. Um, but yeah, we're not winning at Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions. We're not winning at Green Bay. The Browns, I mean, that I think we win that, but like they've got good defense, man. We got to show up.
We do have to show up. And
Yeah.
do you think we could take one of the Green Bay games?
I mean, we could, right? Most probable to me is 9-8. We could get lucky. We could beat the San Francisco 49ers. We could take one from Green Bay, and then we're 11-6, right? Um, it's possible. It's possible. But man, look what the Lions did to us in week two. We're not
Oh,
beating these guys, man. They beat us by 31 points. We're not beating them. Um,
do you see what Gibbs had today?
he snapped, yeah. What was his? I didn't see the like spot.
Gibbs had a day, and it was a close game. Like, like Gibbs had, what
Yeah.
did Gibbs have today? Gibbs had
Oh yeah,
per
15 carries,
game.
219 yards, two touchdowns. Holy cow, man.
Yeah.
And dude, oh my God, look at that. I mean, David Montgomery's done, right? Five touches to Gibbs 15. Yeah. I mean, the guy loved Montgomery. Oh, he did have three receptions though. Gibbs had 11 receptions. What? Oh my God. He snapped.
Yep. He had a day.
He's a monster, man. He's
He
a
had a
monster.
day, and he's gonna have a day against us if we don't do something.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, our linebackers are cooked, man. It's we got no linebackers. We got with the big boy that we signed from Atlanta. What's his name? Grady. You know what I'm talking about? DL.
Yeah.
He's back. He had a good game today. He was breaking stuff up. He was shaking things for us. So that was good. That's good. Okay, so you and I agree 9-8 is the most likely outcome for the Bears this season. They're 8-3 right now, so it's going to be pretty slippery slope for the rest of the season for us Bears fans. Um, Standout performances. I got to give it to these teams that come back down big, like with no quit, and they come back. I really, really appreciate that. But like, let's take a closer look. Jameis Winston. Do you know what he did today? Yes, they lost. Yes, but he took his Giants team at Detroit and took them all the way to the overtime, where he ended up falling. He had a receiving touchdown. He had two passing touchdowns. He had 366 pass yards. I mean, that's incredible numbers for a backup, especially for a backup against a defense like the Lions. That's shocking to me.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. And I think there's something to be said about that in him.
Hmm.
Considering that, you're playing you're playing a good team. You got a couple players that are out on
Yeah,
your team. You're a backup. You come in. That's a statement. This is a statement game right here, dude. Like
yeah, yeah. But
he's
hey,
like, I could play. I could still make a difference. And bringing them to that, it's just like,
but let's yeah, and I mean it's been heroic coming from him almost, man. It's like he's so fun to watch too. I don't know if you do listen to him mic'd up sometimes, James Winston. I mean, that guy's just fucking awesome. He's
oh,
just
there's so many dudes that are super funny when they're mic'd up, man.
yeah.
Uh, you know, who was always, I mean, Peyton Manning was always good, right? He was always real fun with being mic'd up.
What does Winston do? He also does this.
Yeah,
Give me the
yeah.
dub.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
what do you
It's entertaining, man. I love it. I love that stuff, dude.
It's good, man. It shows human like their humanity. They're real people. They're not robots. I love that.
Yeah, they're not robots. They got obviously they can get hurt.
Yeah.
They've worked very hard to get to where they're at, and there's only X amount of roster spots. So to them, in any sport, really, right? Like you make it to the big show, you want to do everything you can to stay there.
Yeah.
And for someone like Winston, who he's been in the league for a minute, right? Like,
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, he was what, number one overall draft pick out of Florida State, right? It
yeah,
was like, man, 15 years ago at least, I want to say. I
a
mean,
minute ago, man, and he's coming out today pretty much saying like, hey, all right, you're gonna put me at the two spot, but I'm about to come in and make a difference. Is super cool to see that.
yeah.
And would you put him as your standout this week? Just
He's
kind
my
of as
standout.
far as
Yeah, he's my standout. And by the way, he got drafted in 2012, so he's been in the league 13 years. But yeah, he would be my standout player of the game of the week. What about you for
you
quarterback?
know, it's it's a tough one. I'm gonna give you two, right? I'm gonna give you one for the Bears. It's been really nice to see Colson Loveland. Um, like he's had some great catches,
Hmm.
and some yardage after those catches. And if you remember in the beginning of the season, he didn't even get any
He was
throws to
hurt,
him really.
right? He had the AC joint injury in his shoulder.
Yeah. And they were obviously we have Cole Kmet, right? But like it's been nice to see a guy that we picked up in the draft, right?
Yeah.
Um, come out of his shell per se and like make a difference. That's there's been a couple games here where he won the game for us
Oh yeah,
against
Eddie. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
I
I
thought you were going to go with Guy, the running back that you've got in your.
he's another one. He didn't have that great of a day today,
Okay. He's
but
did he have a
he's
touchdown?
he did have a touchdown.
Okay,
He did have
nice.
a touchdown, but it's just I think overall he's one, Loveland's one. It's nice to see those guys that you didn't see right away. And
Yeah,
everybody was asking like why aren't they throwing the ball to Loveland when he was in, right? Like, like why is that not? And so I think it's just cool to see that.
yeah,
And I think he's a good athlete.
yeah, yeah. He's great.
Um, and then I would probably have to say as far as like, I mean, I gotta go with
This week on this week, right? Not the whole season. Talking about this week.
yeah, this week alone, I'm gonna have to go with Wilson on the Packers, dude. Uh,
Over Gibbs.
Emmanuel Wilson.
You take him over Gibbs?
I'm gonna give Wilson some love, man.
All
Like
right.
Gibbs is because Wilson's what? Wilson's only in right now because Jacobs is out,
That's true.
right? He's only getting the yardage that he's getting right now because Jacobs is out.
So well, let me pull up his numbers here. All right, Wilson, 28 carries, 107 yards, two touchdowns, good for 3.8 yards a carry. He also had two receptions for 18 yards. So yeah, as a backup, right? Somebody who's never had that much, does that many touches. He made them count.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it, man. Well, look, I think on Colson, it's interesting, right? Because Michigan grad, we grabbed him. What number did we grab him? Eighth overall? Was it something like that in the draft?
yeah. He came in 8 out of Michigan, right? 8 out of
Yeah,
Michigan.
Michigan. Right. And I think all of us were looking at Tyler Warren there, and we're like, why didn't we grab Tyler Warren out of Penn State, who's been cooking for Indianapolis? It's been great for the Colts. I actually even I was out in Arizona for a customer event, and one of my customers is Turner Construction. They're a massive commercial real estate company. And the guy I was talking to, he's from New Jersey, and one of his kids went to Penn State. So he was like, he called himself a Penn State fan just because of that, basically because he was paying tuition, right? Um, and so, this is before the draft, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, that guy's the real deal. Like Tyler Warren is legit. Like any team that gets him is gonna see." And so when I saw us like having an opportunity to draft him, I was beyond myself. I was so excited. And then we go with Loveland. I was like, what? I don't even know if Loveland finished the season at Michigan. I think he got hurt. I don't even remember. I don't really remember a whole lot about him. So I reached out to Dangle, right, who went to Michigan and who goes to all the games and was a big fan. And I was like, what do you got to tell me about this guy? And he was like, man, we got a real one. We got a real one. Loveland
Yep,
catches everything. Like he's a tough guy. Like he gets those extra yards on these like yard after catch and like yard after contact, that sort of thing. Like he's a legit dude. And so we're starting to see that now, right? It's not Tyler Warren level, right? But I think he's gotten healthy the last couple weeks. Now we're seeing more involvement there. And I think the sky's going to be the limit for this guy. I think he's really going to take off. And I think it was actually probably a good move. We'll probably see him do better than Tyler Warren eventually.
and it's good to see players like that work out.
Yeah.
Um, if we look at Tyler Warren today in a nail biter, obviously against Kansas City, he had 45 yards, 7 targets, 5 receptions. Um, his longest was 16 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Um, but still, it's nice to be able to say like, okay, because I know there were some salty people out there when we got Loveland.
Yeah. But
They're
look, dude,
like, ah,
Loveland had pretty much a similar stat line, four reception, 49 yards. and a touchdown, right? The touches and the yards are similar, maybe one less reception, but still. So right there, man. And also like look at, I don't know. I was gonna say look at the Colts and look at their receiving corps. They got some decent receivers. I'll take that back. I think Pittman
Yeah,
and they're pretty good, and Alec Pierce is making a move now. And they obviously have the
Alec Pierce, man.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
oh,
look out for the Colts. Look out for them for
I know.
sure.
I know.
They, you haven't seen the Colts probably this productive throughout a season, in my opinion, probably since the Peyton days
Andrew Luck days probably.
or
Mike
Andrew Luck. Yeah, true.
was there. But yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a while. Certainly not at the same level. I mean, Luck was not the same level as Peyton, but there was a little bit of success there.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that going back to, would you consider? Here's a question. Like, here's where we're at, right? We're about to go into what, week 13 next week?
Yep.
Um, is this make or break, like the time of the season? Like, week 13, it's obviously you have quite a few weeks left, but like this is the time where teams can either, you know, blow it and go into that 9-8, right? Potentially,
Mhm.
or whatever their record is, they had a good stretch in the beginning, but week 13 and on, they stunk. Would you say right now is like a pivotal time going into week 13? Or is
I,
it too early?
no, I think it's actually I would say the trade deadline is really kind of that like cutoff point for me. Right. Once the trade deadline is over, it's now, it's go time. It's critical. Um, I think well, that's why they have a trade deadline, right? Because so the teams don't just trade all their assets the last week of the game and like the season and completely tilt the scales. Uh,
Right?
but I, yeah, man, I don't know. Look, I think I think right now it's going to come down to injuries for all the teams that are in contention. That's what it is every year, right? Every year. It's how healthy can you stay? What's your backup situation looking like? We're in a good shape with our backup quarterback, but like, our running backs are kind of banged up, right? We've got Monongai and Swift, but then behind him, Roshan's on IR. Travis Homer is, I don't even know why we have him on the team. I don't think he's ever played a single touch. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't even know who else we've got besides those four, Roshan, Homer, Swift, and Monongai.
Let's see our depth chart a little bit more. I mean, you're right. I mean, the thing is in a game like football, you got to have good backups, and you have to. And so that really will make or break your season.
Yeah.
People are going to get hurt. It's football. It's
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah.
But how can coaches and coordinators and players obviously heal
Yeah.
and work together when you got a main guy out, right? So
You know who I think a perfect case study is? If you look at the NFC West, look at two teams in particular, the San Francisco 49ers and Arizona Cardinals. Those two teams have had so many injuries, yet one team was able to make it work okay. The San Francisco 49ers are 7-4 somehow. And the Arizona Cardinals are 3-8. They have not figured it out, right? But like the 49ers, I mean, they've had all their receivers injured, their tight end injured, their quarterback injured. Surprisingly, their running back's been healthy this year. But look at their defense, right? They've lost their stars. Bosa's out for the year. Warner's out for the year. They've had major impactful injuries, and yet they're 7-4. They've made
yeah,
it right. So talk about depth. I mean, I think that's a big part, right? Look at their quarterback, right? Mac Jones was a starter until he went on their team. So they were smart and they got a good backup quarterback. They got a great system with Shanahan. Um, but man, talk about navigating through injuries, man. That team has been banged up. I'm impressed by what they've done with what their injuries have been. What's
yeah.
what's the team you're impressed about?
I would say I was just going over really quick on what I'm shocked about, but I'll get back to that. I'm pretty impressed by it's it's been nice to see Denver. We haven't really touched on Denver too much. And I think that Denver being 9-2,
Yeah.
um, they have
They won eight in a row.
I'm a Bo Nix fan for
Yeah.
sure. I think Bo Nix is the real deal. Um, they got some players that are coming out and having some really nice, some nice games.
Yeah.
And if you look at J.K. Dobbins, you look at
He's out.
Marvin Mims,
Some injuries.
you look at Harvey. Um, they have players. R.J. Harvey. You got players that are having a pretty good season.
Yeah. No,
And so,
they're a good one.
yeah, I think the Broncos are someone to definitely look out for. I think if they can stay healthy, um, they don't have too much going on in there. They got a couple linebackers that are out, um, but they've been pretty fortunate with that. And look, they're 9-2.
I
Is
mean,
their
look,
division the
man,
most difficult?
they've had some good wins though. I mean, to your point, they are surprising. They're a positive surprise. They have two losses. One to the Colts at the Colts by 1 point, and then one at the Chargers, right? When Chargers were fully healthy, I guess, yeah, by 3 points. Otherwise, they beat the Eagles. Uh, they beat the Texans, who have a great defense. They beat the Cowboys, who I think at that point were pretty bad in terms of especially their defense. But they beat the Chiefs. And then the rest of their schedule is pretty cake. I mean, they got Washington, who's sub 500. They got the Raiders, sub 500. Packers will be tough. They got the Jaguars, who we said earlier are 6-4, but totally beatable. And then we got the Chiefs again, which they already beat once. And they got a revenge match at home against the Chargers, who again they only lost by 3 on the road earlier in the year. So I like it. That's a good pick, John.
Thanks. Yeah, it's I'm happy from a personal level. Look, I'm not a major Kansas City hater. I'm not one of those people. I like the game of football, but it is nice to see in the AFC West another team on top right now. And I'll say that about a lot of these divisions, right? Oftentimes for all these years, we've seen, either what Green Bay, Detroit, sometimes Minnesota. Who Minnesota is I'm surprised by quite a few things with Minnesota this year for sure. I mean, what's going on with some of their star players, man? Like, why aren't they producing like they've done in the past? Um, from anywhere from Justin Jefferson to, Jordan Addison, you know, these players that in the past have been dangerous to other teams, right? So, I mean, today Justin Jefferson had 4 receptions, 6 targets, and 48 yards.
Yeah, but dude, look who's throwing the ball.
That's
I'm
the problem.
not a believer in JJ.
Local kid.
Yeah, they overreached there. I mean, I didn't see it. I didn't see it in college. I didn't see it in the NFL. He got hurt, so we didn't get a full season last year. We didn't get anything from last year. And then he got hurt like right after playing the Bears for week 1 this year. He just came back a couple weeks ago. No, I don't like it.
He might be one of those players, man. He might be one of those players, and there's a lot of them that, like, yeah, you can take it to the promised land in college, with a powerhouse. Well, he's coming out of Michigan too, right?
Yeah.
So like you can come out of a powerhouse program like Michigan, great recruiting. Obviously, he's a very talented athlete, no doubt about it. But sometimes you have players who are really good in college and they just don't do well enough at the NFL level.
It's
And
not even like he was that good in college. He was a game manager. I mean, yeah, they won the championship, right? But that was like a freaking powerhouse defense. And like that, they had some players, man. And he was just a game manager. He did a good job as a game manager, but I wouldn't say he was, the reason why they won. I would put it mostly on their defense.
right, no, he was definitely not the reason. But I mean, he got I mean, he got drafted right out of the gate with some hype,
Yeah, he did.
like, very much similar to how we saw, someone like Caleb Williams, right? Like, I
Yeah,
think Caleb's still figuring it out. He has some really, really concerning actions on the field that made me a little bit worried every week.
yeah,
His accuracy is really not he has great throws, right?
yeah.
But his accuracy, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't necessarily all there. Like
Yeah, I look, that's a hard one. I agree with you at a high level, but it's a hard one because we also have, with Rome being the same amount of years in the pros, right? A year and a half now. Rome is good, but he's almost a rookie, right? He's a year from being a rookie, and I wonder sometimes how much of that is bad routes, right? Today I saw a bunch of drops. Rome dropped some couple big ones. DJ dropped a couple big ones. I do agree with you though. At a high level, I think Caleb has had some accuracy problems, but I don't think it's all on him.
no,
I'm on this group chat with it was a Cubs thing because we're Cubs fans. Scott, Joey, and Aaron. And I can't even partake during football Sundays because it's just constant negativity about like how garbage the Bears are, how garbage Caleb is, until the last play. And then if we win, it's like, yay, go Bears, right? But like, I don't blame Caleb like everybody else seems to.
no,
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
he's got,
I don't. You can't blame him, right? At the end of the day, the guy's a good athlete. He's a good quarterback, right? We're not down there with him. We don't know what's actually going on as far as what their reads are or routes, right? Like we don't have the playbook, right? So there's a lot of different factors, but 100% there's no reason to be a Caleb Williams hater. Look, we're getting the W's. He's got some. He can scramble. He's not Michael Vick scramble, but he can scramble.
yeah,
He's got a laser beam when he's on target. I think he's rushed. I think he's gotten better with his time in the pocket. Um, but look, considering how many quarterbacks the Bears have had over all these years, Caleb's cool, man. And
yeah.
like I think that we need to kind of take it as he's growing also, just like every other human being does in their job.
I mean,
Um,
absolutely, man. Look, there's a couple things I want to just talk about in terms of his growth. What was the number one issue with him last year?
Sacks.
Yes. Look how he's cleaned that up this year. He's barely taken any sacks. He led the league in sacks last year,
Yep.
right? That's major improvement. Nobody talks about that. Um, you talk about his accuracy or lack thereof sometimes, and sometimes it's good. The kid doesn't throw interceptions. He doesn't throw that many interceptions,
No, he doesn't.
right?
I'd rather you throw the ball, that in the middle of nowhere or out of bounds or like way off than throw it to a different play to the other team, right? So,
So look,
man,
he's not completing 70% of the passes like Jared Goff, but he's not getting sacked. He's not throwing interceptions. He's been in the league a year and a half. I think he's showing improvement already year over year, and I'm excited for what's to come. I really think we haven't even scratched the surface.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that 100%. Obviously, every quarterback, every player, you're going to have some concerns as far as like, obviously, of course, like when it's your team, right? You're like, oh, and our quarterback history with the Bears hasn't always been the most promising, right? But if we look at where we're at right now as a team, with injuries, with defensive injuries, with linebacker injuries, whatever it might be, close wins are wins. Caleb's healthy. He's healthy because he's not getting worked every week on like
Yeah,
multiple sacks.
exactly.
That's an improvement.
It is. Who would you rather have? Caleb Williams or Trevor Lawrence?
That's a really good question, man. I would say I mean, Trevor can scramble a little bit, right? He's got some movement. Um, like I like Caleb's style of play when he's able to break away from some potential loss of yards. Um, so who would I rather have? I think I'm comfortable saying I'm happy with Caleb.
Okay, and you got to also
Um,
factor the contract, right? Caleb's taking a lot less than Trevor is right now, right?
yeah.
So there's that. Who would you rather have, Caleb Williams or let's go with Tua,
Oh man, Caleb, man, Tua's career is about to be.
one hit away?
Caleb's career should be over, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it should be.
Like from a concussion standpoint, like it's. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but you look at some of these players that got CTE pretty quickly, dude, and it's like, do you choose to do that? Is it affecting your play? Sure. Um, but I would definitely take Caleb. Here's one for you really quick. Would you rather take Caleb Williams or would you rather have had, well, JJ obviously, but what about like a Daniel Jones?
I mean, I gotta look at the pay too, right? What is Daniel Jones making this year? Is he getting paid a lot still? I don't know what his contract situation is anymore. I know he got a bag when he was with the Giants. Did they trade him or did they release him and he signed a new contract with the Colts?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a big part of it for me. Um, but I would say probably, I mean, I'm gonna assume that let me just I gotta look this up now. It's bothering me.
I
Jones contracts. Okay, so he did sign a 1 year, 14 million contract. And what's Caleb making this year?
can't, I think Caleb's in that bang gear.
Yeah, I think he's in like a 4 year 40. So he's got 10 this year. Okay, so he's 40% less pay than Daniel Jones. Is he 40% better, worse, same? I would go with Caleb, man. I don't think Daniel Jones is 40% better.
I don't think so. I think Caleb has more weapons.
Right.
I think Caleb has more weapons for sure. I think Caleb's, I mean, Daniel Jones, he's been in the league for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so if you look at someone who's in what, their sophomore year,
Mhm.
Caleb's in his what, sophomore year?
Yeah.
I mean, the sky's the limit, in my opinion. So all those little haters on that Sunday text thread,
Yeah, right. Let him know.
like we got a bunch of John Mans on those text threads trying to.
By the way, Daniel Jones has been in the league 7 years, right? So I think Caleb, he doesn't have the experience, obviously, that Daniel has, but I would take Caleb right now over Daniel Jones.
Yes, I would. And I'm happy to say that. Like it's nice to
Yeah.
it's nice to say that the Bears have a quarterback that we would keep over a lot of other quarterbacks in the league. Um, I think he has a lot of tools. I think he's going to be interesting to watch. I think they need to go home and go to bed because they have what 5 days until
It's till next
they
week.
play probably one of the biggest games. By the way, the Eagles just lost.
They did? The game ended? Huh.
Yeah,
What's that? Wow. See, Dallas, man. Dallas have made moves and their defense is now decent.
look at Dallas coming in, dude. Dallas is like,
Oh. Dallas is 500 now, dude. They're 5-5. Well,
yeah,
the Bears win against Dallas is looking better and better now.
right.
It's funny.
Dude, we got to touch on something real quick because I put this little stat together. This is crazy. We're gonna go. Can we transition over to some quick college football?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk college football. Favorite moment of the weekend for you in college football?
Oh, dude, I just gotta talk about really quick. There's multiple, but like
Yeah,
Notre Dame whooped Syracuse by a score that like you don't really see very often. It was 70-7.
that's a beatdown. That is,
70-7, but that's not it, dude. and maybe there's been more of these this week or in like previous weeks, and I haven't like really, you know, buckled down on paying attention to those ending scores of some of these games. But there was a 56-0 game. Alabama, why they're playing Eastern Illinois blows my mind. Alabama beat Eastern Illinois 56-0.
That's insane.
Texas A&M beat Sanford 48-0.
Yep. Why are they playing Sanford a one in? I don't even know what division Sanford's in.
Right. Ohio State beat Rutgers 42-9. I get that game, right?
Yeah.
Texas Tech played um, UFC and beat them 48-9. And Tennessee played New Mexico State and beat them 42-9.
How about but the Georgia too? Georgia
And
beat
then the Georgia game. Yep.
35-3 against Charlotte. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so the top four are pretty solid, man. You're going to see those top four again. And actually, I think the rankings did come out. Yeah, the top four has not moved.
So
That'd be
I'm anticipating that IU is going to probably end up playing what? Oregon or Ohio State
Ohio
in the
State.
second round.
Yeah, Ohio State. Well, okay, hold on. Let's see. Week 14 is next week. IU's playing, Indiana's playing Purdue. They beat Purdue, I think it was 66-0 last year. Purdue's 2-9 this year. They're gonna beat the crap out of Purdue again. Texas A&M's playing Texas next week. That's a hard game. That's a real hard one, man. Georgia's playing Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's pretty good, but I think we're seeing cracks in the foundation there. One to be careful about is Ole Miss. Ole Miss is kind of sneaking up the board. Who does Notre Dame play next week? Do they play?
Notre Dame is coming up against,
Stanford.
they play Stanford.
Yeah, Notre Dame should win that game too. So I think Notre Dame makes climbs up further. Um, I think. Okay, where are they right now in the college football playoffs? I need to see a bracket somewhere, man. Why don't they have brackets?
Yeah, I got the picture, but I don't get the bracket.
I see a first round matchup against BYU right now, number 10 Notre Dame against number 7 BYU. I think I think Texas A&M probably loses their bye week and you see Oregon slide in there or maybe Notre Dame or maybe Georgia. One of those three teams I think will slide into that fourth bye. This is four byes, right?
Yep, four buys.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just think it'd be really cool. I'm going to be pretty biased about this, um, because we do live in the Midwest area.
Yeah.
But I think it would be super crazy to have a Notre Dame Indiana battle.
We had one last year at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and it's like, but how great is that,
Oh, you
right?
mean
You're
like an
like,
in-state rivalry is what you're saying.
right. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. That'd be fun. I think they might start cooking that. I think they're going to start like manufacturing that.
yeah, and because look at it, it's like Notre Dame powerhouse, Indiana's really great, good this year. I think they're obviously a very good football team this year. Same state, big turnouts. Obviously, both teams. It
Yeah.
would just be fun to see in this dynamic of two good football programs. Like
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see that.
Yeah. No,
But
I hadn't really thought about that. I think I like it. I like what you're getting at. I think if, it would be extra fun for me because last year Indiana was really good too. I mean, I think they were 11-1 in the regular season with their only loss to Ohio State at Ohio State. Uh,
yeah,
that was a loss that hurt. I'm not saying we should have won, but it hurt because we were tied with a few seconds left in the or maybe a minute left before the half. We were about to score, threw a pick on our own like 1 yard line, so we didn't score. And instead, they marched. No, no, no. Sorry, we fumbled a punt. That's what it was. We went to punt the ball. We fumbled it on our four, and they scored. They went up seven at halftime, and then they came back on the kickoff of the third quarter. They returned it to the house. I think the final score is we lost by 14 or something like that. But those two plays were the difference. So that really hurt. That was Ohio State. Then we went to the playoffs. We played Notre Dame in the first round at Notre Dame. That's when we threw the pick on the 1 yard line. And then your ensuing next play, your running back took it to the house like 98 yards. Do you remember that?
Dude, I was just about to comment how impressed I am right now of your memory of those games last year.
That hurt, man. Well, those are only two losses, man. It's easy to remember when it's two, when it's only two, right? But if it's like, like Tennessee this year for the NFL, I could not remember that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I am excited to see where a lot of our teams turn out. Um, obviously the Bears, obviously Indiana, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It's fun to see that, and that's what I'm all about. Like it's cool to see those teams where, you know, especially someone like Indiana, who they've been pretty good, obviously last year.
They've been
But I
garbage
think this
for the
year,
last 5 years. Yeah.
this year feels a little bit different. I'm sure it does for you as a alumni.
Yeah.
Um, but it's cool to see that, and I'm excited to. I mean, we're coming in. I feel like this football season has flown by.
I know, dude. Last week is next week of the
Yeah,
regular season. It's insane. So
it's flown by.
Notre Dame is not losing. They're favored by 32 points next week. They've got a 96% chance of winning according to the ESPN matchup predictor. So they're not losing. They're not going to drop in their rankings either. They're only potentially going to go up if one of those other teams that I talked about lose. And I do think we'll see some shakeup, potentially even at number two or number three, rather. Sorry, number two is Indiana. Number three is Texas A&M. They're playing Texas. That's going to be a tough one for them.
Yeah,
And then you got the conference championships. I'm eager about that, man. That's going to be, who do you guys play? Who does Notre Dame play in conference championship week? Anybody?
it's well because they're in that. I
In
don't
the
even remember
They're big in
what their
basketball.
division is considered in when it comes to that. Because let me check real quick. I mean, we are in the
I
trying
mean,
to find this information really quick
it's
on.
crazy, right? It's just weird. They're not, I don't know.
Yeah, it's always weird with that dynamic of.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say
They're not. They're is UConn independent too for football?
they
Yeah.
might be.
I think UConn's independent for football. I did not know that. Wow. So they're one of two teams in the independent standings. Notre Dame and UConn. UConn's actually pretty good this year, 9-3. Um, so look, Notre Dame's going to be in the CFP. I hope we get to play you guys. I do. I hope so too. I think that would be a lot of fun. Start a
Yeah,
rivalry and
little state rivalry and like,
yeah.
in my opinion, a better Indiana team from even being a good Indiana team last year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, that's what the analysts are saying too. Here's my I don't know. I don't know if they're better than last year. I mean, of course their record's going to be better, but you're talking about 11-1 versus 12-0. right? And then now here's what kind of tilts me in your direction to yes, they are better this year. They've had some marquee wins. I mean, they went to Oregon and won. They went to Penn State. I know Penn State's not the team they were at the start of the season, but still, Happy Valley is not easy to play there, and they won.
Nope.
They went to Iowa and they won. By the way, Penn State and Iowa, that was their homecoming games, right? So, I mean, these are some pretty big, wins that they had. They didn't have those wins last year. They beat Michigan last year, which was a pretty good win. But that was maybe the best win they had last year, if I remember correctly. Here's the other side of it, right? Here's why I'm not ready to say that they are much better this year. I liked their quarterback better last year. Everybody else likes Mendoza better. They're saying Heisman, Heisman Mendoza, he's going to win it this year. He might. He might. And he's a good quarterback, but Rourke was way more accurate. And I think he played 8 games with a torn ACL.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, there you go right there. I
Yeah.
mean, but it's nice to see with Mendoza coming in. Yeah, and there's going to be that Mendoza Heisman, hype for sure that, a lot of people see as far as like he's been having a great year, they're undefeated, all that. But like you said, that doesn't necessarily make him better than the quarterback last year. All around, right, right, right. So like if you're looking at everything, like accuracy, like you said, that's important
Yeah.
in those big games and those big moments. Obviously, they've won some big games this year, but those big moments are coming.
Yeah.
Those big stage, big moments in those college football divisional playoff, all that stuff. Though that's going to be very telling.
It's going to be very telling. Who's the best player on Notre Dame, in your opinion?
I mean, I think Love is, Jeremiah Love. Um, he's the go-to guy for sure. You know, Notre Dame, they had a rough start
Yeah,
for
they lost a
sure.
couple. They lost a couple big ones there to small teams. To
Yeah,
Marshall, one of them.
yeah, they lost to
Oh no, they lost to good teams. They lost to Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, Miami.
Wow, they only lost by 1 point to A&M.
Yeah,
Holy shit, I didn't realize that. Okay, I thought it was Marshall, but that must have been last year. They lost to Marshall.
and it's been smooth sailing since then. I
Yeah,
mean, playing some. I mean, they played some decent teams. That well, we got a nice Purdue, obviously, um, Arkansas, but Arkansas isn't the same Arkansas that we've seen in the past, in my opinion.
yeah,
South Carolina,
it's a good. Yeah, USC. That's a good. You win against USC.
yeah, or I'm sorry, North Carolina State,
NC State. Didn't NC State? Yeah, NC State had Texas A&M against the wall last week.
yeah.
I think they were up big against them. They ended up losing by like 3 points in the end of it. But yeah,
The only game that I was a little bit worried about after this whole stretch, and it turned out not to be necessary, was the Pitt game last weekend.
okay. Yeah.
Pitt's got Pitt's got a pretty decent squad this year for sure.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at the teams that they played throughout the season after they got out of that little beginning of the year slump, Pitt was the one team where I was like, ooh, they could potentially, make things interesting. Obviously, that didn't occur. It was 37-15 Notre Dame, but I'm interested to see, like always, with when we get to these playoffs, divisional, all that stuff. That's a different story. Like playoff in any sport is a different ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, no matter what the sport is. You remember like playing sports as kids, you make it to the playoffs,
Oh
it's
yeah.
different.
Oh, it's an extra click. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so that's where I think we're going to see the real deal in some of these squads. Like, you got teams that make it to the playoffs and they get whooped in the first round. We're very familiar with that, and in multiple sports, right? Like, it's very telling when you get to the playoffs what you really have,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably one of the more exciting things about sports.
How's Notre Dame's health? Are they healthy?
They seem to be doing all right right now.
Yeah.
I think that as far as anything too pressing right now, I got to check off of. Yeah, nothing really too concerning
That's
as
good
far as I know.
at this time of year.
Um, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's key.
They got some guys, man. They got some guys. Obviously, Jeremiah Love being the you know being the junior. He's a junior.
Yeah. Do you think he stays till senior year? Or do you think he goes draft?
Oh man, that's a great question. I think that there's a good chance he might go, man.
Yeah. I
If
mean,
they can do something this year and make a good run, come pretty close to winning, if not win it, or I don't see why not.
I think he'd be foolish not to, unless you got some kind of master monster insurance policy on his legs, or because in
Yeah,
that position, man, the last thing you want is like a Willis McGahee injury, and then I mean, he did play in the NFL, but he wasn't what he was in college.
no. You know that Notre Dame has the Jerome Bettis Jr.
I do know that, but he's not a running back, is he? Is he a receiver?
He is a wide receiver. Yep, he's
Yeah.
a freshman. He ain't seeing that much right now.
What about Plaxico Burress' son?
Oh, yeah, where's that dude at?
Isn't he still on your team?
Elijah.
Elijah, is he good?
I mean, he doesn't have any numbers. He's a freshman.
Okay,
He's
fresh.
sitting, like, but he's on the squad. We might see Elijah and Jerome Bettis, the Bus Jr. come out, next year or the year after. But
Crazy.
that's how those schools do it, man. You ain't gonna have too many. I mean, and also I'm gonna go back to say this. I've always said it. Just because your dad's good doesn't mean you're gonna be.
That's right. That's right, man. By the way, like Elijah is nothing like his father in terms of build. Like he's 6 foot flat. I think
Yeah.
like 6'4" or something. How tall was Plaxico or is Plaxico Burress? Didn't he shoot himself in the leg too? 6'5". So yeah,
Yep.
you're almost a half foot shorter than your dad. You're not going to be the same player. That's for sure.
I mean, Jerome Bettis Jr., 6'1", 208 pounds.
Yep.
He looks just like his dad too, but I mean, he's a youngin. It's kind of cool to see. I'm sure, Jerome Bettis is on cloud nine, being as, he's an alumni.
Yeah, that's got to
It's
be
kind of a cool,
best feeling.
yeah.
Follow my
But
son.
yeah, it'll be exciting. But it's like those players, you see their kids come into the league and you're like, don't get too excited because that's not how that works, man. You might have some athletic genes, but
You can earn it still. Yeah.
yeah, you got to earn it. You got some big shoes to fill, especially with those two players and the talent that they came through with. Um, it's the same thing in all these sports. You might not have players that it's not as common to see that.
It's not.
Your son's as good as your
You're
as
seeing
their
it.
dad.
We are NBA, where you see a lot more father-son kind of things, but we're gonna see. Well, no, I was gonna say Texas Manning. What's Archie? Archie is
Archie, yeah.
it's Cooper's son. That's not one. That's not Peyton's son. Um, are there? Oh yeah, Marvin Harrison. Right, that's a good one. There's always linemen. Those aren't that exciting.
No.
Um, But you're seeing like Jerry Porter, right? Linebacker and Jerry Porter Jr., cornerback. He's a sophomore, but yeah, there's definitely I like those father-son ones, man. They're
I
fun. Like,
like him too, man. It's a cool story. You know, like whatever. If your kid's not as good as you were, they made it to the show. They made it to a D1 school. They're obviously successful in their own rights. Are they going to be superstars like their dads?
who knows?
Probably not. But
But there are some of those cases where they're better. Steph Curry in the NBA, better than his dad was,
100%
right? Like there's some of
facts.
those. There's
Yep.
some of those.
I
Uh,
mean, I don't know how many other examples I could probably tell you. That's a really
yeah,
good one.
there's not a lot.
Um, I would say actually, well, let's go with this one. And I could be way off. I think Christian McCaffrey is better than Ed McCaffrey was, even though they weren't playing the same position.
I think that's a good one too, man. Christian McCaffrey's going down as one of the best running backs ever.
Yep. Don't get me wrong. Ed McCaffrey was a bad dude, but Christian, I mean, he's got a brother. Well, Luke's on the what? The Jaguars, I think.
I don't know. He's a receiver, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what team he's on, but like he's not bad. Obviously, he made it. But Christian McCaffrey is another one where I think he is better than he'll go down as
Commanders.
a
He's on the Commanders. Luke McCaffrey.
he's on the Commanders. Okay, yeah. He's one. Although I'm a little bit disappointed with like how Marvin Harrison Jr. is doing,
He's hurt though. He's been
but
hurt.
he's hurt. Right. Yeah.
Also, a quarterback situation. I've come to conclusion this year. Like I wasn't there until this year, but now I'm there. What's his face? Who's the freaking quarterback? I'm blanking. Tyler or see this is what happens when you smoke too much weed. Uh what's his name? I see his little tiny little face.
For
Arizona.
oh
Kyler
yeah,
Murray. Kyler.
Kyler Murray. Yep.
All right, Kyler Murray, man. This is one of those guys who, what do you go, A&M, right? Texas A&M,
Yes.
Johnny Manziel, uh, Mahomes, right? Those three guys all went to A&M. They snapped in college. They were studs. They kind of had the same like makeup in terms of like agile, could run, could throw, that sort of thing. Kyler, I think you know this. He was also drafted in the MLB
Yep.
pitcher. He should have freaking gone to MLB, man. I don't think he's a good NFL quarterback. I think his size is just not right. I think his attitude's horrible. There was something last year. There was a reporter asked him why he wasn't throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison more, and he said, "It's not my job to throw the ball to Marvin Harrison." Like, what kind of answer is that? You're a freaking quarterback. Yes, it is your job to throw the ball to the fucking wide receiver. Like that's the most I know what he was trying to say. He was trying to say like it's not my job to like make sure he gets catches over anybody else. I get that, but he said it like it's not my job to get him the ball. Well, yeah, it is your job to get the ball. So you screwed that up. I'm just not sold on it, man. And then there's a whole thing in his contract about how like he had to watch film, right? Because he was one of those also those another Texas A&M quarterback that didn't watch any film.
Let me revert back to really quick. It's stating he's out of Oklahoma,
Oklahoma. Okay, yes, you're right. Thank you.
but going back to your point, still no film.
No film. Doesn't like come on, man. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You're not in high school, man. Like, you're a professional. You're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Study.
Yeah.
Well,
Do your homework, buddy.
yeah. So
Uh,
so to your point with Marvin Harrison, like I don't fully blame him.
no.
I blame the quarterback play on that team. And I think that obviously there's an adjustment from college to pros. I think I'm not concerned about Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's got all the tools. I think if he's got the right quarterback, he's a top receiver in the league. He's huge, you know, he's fast. So anyway,
I think he'll have a better season next year.
hopefully,
Healthy.
yeah, hopefully.
I mean, it's an exciting time right now in sports, I feel. It's an exciting time, I think, all around in sports, not only just in the Chicago aspect of things, focusing on the Bears, but I think all around it's like the time of year, right? College football playoffs,
Yeah,
coming down to the, home stretch of the NFL season.
yeah.
Like if we're just focusing on just the sport of football alone, we actually have a level of like excitement. Because in previous years, by this time of the year, we're like,
Season's over.
season's
Yeah,
over.
yeah, exactly.
You
I
know,
know, I
I
know.
guess I'll watch the Bears game this week, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But now we're like, hey, and the Eagles just got beat by the Cowboys. Obviously a nail biter, but that says something. Like that gives you a little bit of like, huh, am I going to change my prediction? No. But does it give you a little bit of like, anything can happen?
I'm with you, man. So, hey, all right, last topic before we wrap up here. Back to the college football topic. Major, major openings and some of the top programs. You're looking at LSU head coach opening. You're looking at Florida head coach opening, Penn State head coach opening, Auburn Penn coach head coach opening. And all the yeah, you have some smaller ones like Arkansas and Vatech and Oklahoma and Stanford and UCLA. But those first 4 or 5 that I just called out, I mean, those are traditionally top 25 teams every single year, right? Like LSU, Penn State, at least those two. We saw Florida make a run for a decade with Urban Meyer, and then even after that. And Auburn, I think Auburn was, I don't know if they've been that good since Cam Newton, right? Yeah, Cam Newton won the
Auburn, yeah.
but
Yeah. So,
those
yep.
are like let's focus on LSU and Penn State. What do you think they do? Do you think it's a musical chairs and the guys that got fired get rehired by these teams?
I mean, I think at this point in time, right, you're like, all right, what do we do? I mean, are we gonna go find someone who are these big powerhouse teams, uh, you know, going to go look for a unicorn? Are they gonna go try and find, are they gonna take a big risk, right? They're gonna take a big risk and be like, okay, let's 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 take a risk on this guy. I mean, look, LSU's coming out for what, Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Um, I think those are obviously these big power schools have big shoes to fill. Um, so you really have to like, how do you make that decision? How does a program make that decision?
Oh man, I don't know. Athletic director's got to be in some kind of position, right? Because you can have a position. Look at Notre Dame, right? Notre Dame's a great one because you guys have had a lot of head coaches, a lot of changes, right? You guys went after the real big names like Charlie Weiss, right? And like Brian Kelly was there after he crushed at Cincinnati. You guys historically have gone after like the big name. Who's out there? Who can I get that's got the biggest splash? And then your latest coach wasn't as big of a splash, and he's been your most successful coach you've had.
I
So
mean, besides our current coach right now?
yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
right. And look at Indiana. Indiana's had like no good name coaches. And then they get this guy Signetti, who's done nothing but win everywhere. And now they're winning again. And so I think on one hand, I want to say it doesn't matter, but on the other hand, it clearly matters. But what matters is not necessarily what these Notre Dames and these LSUs have gone for historically. What matters is really more about like what is the culture you're building, right? Because the school itself, they're going to attract the big names. LSU is always going to attract the 5 stars. Notre Dame's always going to attract the 5 stars. But if
Right.
you don't have like a coach who's got like, fundamentals and a culture, then you're going to have a Charlie Weiss situation. You're going to have these situations where these coaches are just not going to perform to the expectation these programs are wanting them to.
Right. And that's the thing. It sounds like the guy to look out for right now, um, being as probably out of all those teams, Auburn probably is one of the lower teams to be like sought after in some ways, right? But um, it's like I'd be interested to see if Lane Kiffin ends up anywhere.
That's right. There's stuff going on about him too. That guy's been at every single program out there. It's insane.
That dude is that dude's got a closet full of multiple team polos
Insane.
that, he's got every team pretty much in every color at this point with this guy.
It is.
But he's one. I mean, if you look at that, I mean, you never really know. And that, like you said, it's interesting to see how people decide to go after their head coaches. A good example would be like look at Dion in Colorado, right?
Right.
Um, did they pick Dion because they thought he was going to consistently bring them to the promised land?
I think it's because he was going after the HBCU kids. Hey, hold that thought, John. I'll be right back. All right, man. So,
I'll bet you there's going to be one of these head coach positions where everybody's going to be like, obviously, if you're a fan of those teams, you're going to be excited and hopeful, right? You're like, all right, this guy's coming from some other team. He was the offensive coordinator somewhere, whatever. Um, but at the end of the day, you gotta. It's almost like it's the same thing as grabbing a player, right? Like you're paying them because you hope that they can perform, and they've been able to perform at other levels or other coordinating positions. But that doesn't always mean that they can produce
in your
as the
environment,
leader of a team.
yeah, yeah. It's
Same thing, and that's what I think. Uh, I'd be interested to find out what that process is, right? What are they basing it off of? Are they basing it off of their experience? Are they basing it off of their knowledge? Um,
I mean the clout, right? I think that's a big part. But you got programs that have, and I think every program is going to have to go through this. Indiana went through this with basketball, right? They kept going. They had a carousel there of coaches because they were looking for the wrong thing. They were looking for the up and coming hot thing. Archie Miller, that guy was. This is for another episode. We'll do that some other time. But yeah, they're looking for the hottest thing, but they're not necessarily meshing. They're not necessarily meshing like the culture of the place this coach is coming from with the place they're going to. The places can be completely different environments. Could work very well in one environment and very badly in another one. That's a piece they're not looking at.
I agree. Like you you might look good in all these, you might check all these boxes, right? But there's that one box where it's like it's
Only
almost
in
like
the
how
dome.
do you buy? Yeah, how do you get your players to buy in? Because
Right.
these players have had coaches, different coaches throughout the years, right? They all respond differently, right? Like what's their learning style? What's their coaching style? Um, and if that's not in sync,
Yeah.
who's going to go down first? The coach.
Right. Right. Yeah. A lot of times. Exactly. Well, let's do this. Let's wrap up with some bold predictions. Um, so we started with NFL. Let's start with NFL. Bold predictions for next week. What do you see the Bears doing next week against the on the Black Friday against our Eagles?
Am I giving you a score prediction?
Yeah, what's your projected outcome there?
I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think the score is going to be 2017
Oh,
Eagles.
okay. Wow, that's a close one.
Low scoring game.
Yeah, okay. Um, all right, I like it. For college, I mean that's pretty easy. What are you saying for Notre Dame next week?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be 70-7,
Why not?
but um, I think if they're smart, if they are ahead that much, by the half. I'm sure they. I mean, I only caught the first part of the game this week against Syracuse, but I got to think again. Going back to coaching decisions, if you're up ahead that much, you're about to play your. You're about to play some freshmen. You're about to play some players that you got to keep your players healthy. You're not going to sit there and put in. So I mean, I would say based on that, it could be pretty high scoring, but I would say at least I'll give it a I'll give it a 35 point spread for sure.
Okay. Okay, cool. How far do you think Notre Dame makes it this year in the college football playoffs? It's hard to say, right? We don't know the matchups yet. But what you know about like the Ohio States, the teams out there that are also going to be in there, the Georgias, the Alabamas.
You know, I think we can make it to I think we can make it to the semifinals for sure. Um, I think that I think that I'll be telling is we haven't made I don't think we've made the bye week or
Sure.
the because Indiana's on they went straight to the next round, right? They got the
Yeah, they got to buy in the front, but I don't know how that shakes out because right, we got the Big Ten championship, and either Ohio State or Indiana is going to take an L.
right. So what does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know if that knocks them out of the top four or not.
Right. So I mean, I'd be interested to see. I think Notre Dame could should make it to the semifinals. If not, go to the big show. Um, but that's the great thing about it. It's the playoffs.
Yeah. And
And I mean, what about you? What do you think? Indiana, depending on who they play?
yeah, well, I mean that's the easy answer, right? I think look if Indiana holds on to the bye and they have home field advantage until the finals, um, that's assuming they're a two seed. Um, I think they win every home game. And
I
by the
like
way,
that.
I think every single team in the semis wins. Every home team wins in the semis. I mean, I just think
Yeah.
that if you're that good, that home field advantage is way too big an advantage.
I think that'd be a lot more interesting in the future if they just made the playoffs at neutral locations.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that'd be very, very changing of the dynamic. Obviously, you want to meet somewhere in the middle. You might want to make tickets a little bit cheaper if people are going to be traveling because you want the crowd there.
Yeah.
But that is a big factor, home field advantage.
Yeah.
At that level, like,
It's just too much an advantage. It really is. And I don't see a top eight team going in another top eight team and winning at their house. I just don't see it. Especially because most of these teams have no losses, right?
right.
The top four at least don't have any losses, or top three don't have any losses. Okay, that's a good prediction for next week for the college football playoffs, and then we'll just have to have you back on, man, at the end of the season, see if the Bears finished 9-8 or if they did better, they did worse,
I would
and
love it. What's your Bears prediction for Friday?
for Friday, my Bears prediction is a loss. I actually think it's gonna be a big loss. I don't think it's close. I think they get pounded. Reason why? We're going up against one of the best running backs, and we have a horrible run defense, which is going to open up the play action pass. And then they've got some good wideouts. AJ,
Yeah,
he's a possession guy. He'll get anything over the top, right? And then other little dude will run go routes all day and burn our secondary. So I think, unfortunately, I think it's a lopsided. I think we lose by at least two touchdowns.
I hope you're wrong,
I know.
but I like I love your honesty and your prediction for sure. I
I-
mean, I have them losing. I think we both be ecstatic if they won.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Do, I think do I actually think it's going to be that close of a game? 2017. There's a chance, right? If we can control, if our game plan is correct and our defense is like maybe snapped out of it a little bit, sure. But do I think if we're playing these close games like we have the last 3 weeks in a row against a team like the Eagles, and they're going to be mad because they just lost against the Cowboys too.
Yeah. Hey, but you know
So,
what? On the plus side, we should be getting Jalen Johnson and Gordon back, our t two of our top three wideouts. I don't know about Stevenson. He might be back too. So we could be getting our entire secondary back,
which would be helpful.
which would be a major boost. I don't know what the hell's happened at linebacker though.
I don't know, but they're going to have to they're going to have to spend some time this week figuring it out, and they don't have very much time.
No, they got 5 days.
5 days and a holiday,
Oh, right.
so they better eat some turkey and go back to work.
On that note, brother, awesome having you on the show, man. I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate the wisdom and enthusiasm and all the
Yeah, dude, this
uh,
is great. Thank you for
yeah.
having me, man. This is a lot of fun. We'll do it again.
It's been awesome. It's been a great time. So hey, shout out to you. Any shout outs you want to give out to on your end?
Just shout out to the whole crew, man. To the whole crew, that anybody and everybody who's gonna jump on here and have a great sports conversation. Um, it's always something that we've all done together.
Yeah.
Even outside of our fantasy football, it's always fun to talk about sports, and we got a lot of good buddies that we've known for a long time, and it's awesome that you have this idea to get us together and do a little podcast. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
an honor being the first dude on here.
Episode one, baby. Oh, thanks, Johnny, man. I appreciate it, brother.
For sure, brother.
I'll catch up with you here in a little bit, but otherwise, thanks again, bud.
Of course, man. Have a great night, and let's see what happens this week.
That's right, man. Hit me up if anything, if you have confirmations on the 12th.
Yeah,
And we'll stay in touch, this week and figure it out.
yeah, for sure. I'll find that out by tomorrow,
Cool.
and we'll get that in the calendar.
All right, brother. All right, have a good night, man. Have a good week next week.
Thanks, brother. You too.